Hello, my name is Amy and I'm a learning coordinator here at the National Coal Mining Museum. I work in the education team, I deliver workshops and I also manage some of the resources that are available here at the museum and to loan out to local communities. Today I'm going to speak to you about the loans box service that we have at the museum, and I have in front of me here a Victorian loans box. Now loans boxes are great to bring the museum and our original artefacts into your schools, into community centres and into your home as well. So normally when you come to a museum you see objects behind a glass case and you can't touch those objects, but these loans boxes are specifically for handling, so you can get the objects out, feel the textures, look at the colours and really get an idea of what these items were used for and how tactile they are. We've got lots of different themes of loans boxes, depending on the different eras of coal mining, but this one in particular we're going to look at today is the Victorian work loans box. So let's get started. So when you get one of these loans boxes in front of you, one of the first things before you've even touched anything in the box that hits you is the smell of the objects inside. So the smell that hits me when I open up this loans box is a musty smell, because these objects are really old, over 100 years old. So they're very precious, but it's great that we get to handle them. And the first thing that I can see in this loans box is this here, and it's a textile cap called a flat cap, which is very common in Yorkshire, and it's also very common in Birmingham with the Peaky Blinders. But this is actually something the Victorians used to wear on their heads, okay, to supposedly protect their heads when they were working underground. Now I don't know about you guys, but if you were wearing one of these underground and there was a big piece of coal knocked you on the head, it's not really going to protect you very well. So that's one of the things that they wore in at Victorian times. We've also got some of the exciting things in this box. Now one of my favourite things is, I don't know how many of you know, but in Victorian times the full family would have worked underground, including children as young as 4 to 5 years old. Now the youngest children would have worked opening trapdoors, they were called trappers, and they opened and closed the doors, one to ventilate the mines, but also to let coal tubs in and out. Now their brothers and sisters also worked in the coal mines as well, and we've got an artefact here that a young boy would have worn underground around their waist, and the chain would have gone through their legs. Now this would have attached to a coal tub, and these young boys were called hurriers, and they had to hurry, so they had to run along or crawl if the tunnels underground were really low to the ground, and they would have had to hurry up because the faster they moved, the more momentum the coal tub would get, and it was easier then. Now we call this a Gust Belt. Now in Yorkshire we have a little bit of a laugh about this, because we say it's called a Gust Belt because it gusts round your waist, okay? So a bit of Yorkshire slang there. But what's really nice about handling these objects is you get to experience the smells and the textures, and you could get to wear some of these things as well. Now the leather almost reminds me of, it smells quite strong as leather. Now leather's actually made of cowhide, so the skin of a cow, so it's very tough, but it kind of does smell a little bit like an animal. And then we've got the chain, but I think as well you get an idea of the weight. Now this is very heavy, so they've got to carry this, and also they've got to carry, pull the force and the heaviness of that coal tub as well. So that's the Gust Belt. Let's see what else we've got inside this loans box. So I'm going to dig deep for this next item. So we have here something quite small, but this is called a Motty. And motties are made of metal and every single Victorian family would have had a Motty, and it would have had a unique number on there that represented their family. Now they popped this Motty at the bottom of the coal tub, and once the family had worked hard to fill the coal tub full of coal, so the dad used to get the coal, so he was the getter. We've got the mum that's the putter, she's putting the coal in there, and then the hurriers and thrusters are pushing that coal tub to the bottom of the shaft to be taken up to the surface. Now when that coal was weighed, the mine owner would look at that number and they'd know which family to pay the money for, because families got paid for the weight of coal that they were able to get out of the mine. So that's the Motty. And then let's do one more item. Now there are lots and lots of items in this loans box, but we're just looking at a few of them today. So the last thing that I'm going to show you is, again, something that's very small. Now this is called a Tipperton, and it's basically, again, it's got the numbers of the family or the worker, and they would basically take this tin and are able to get paid. So they would take this to the banksman and then they get their money popped inside this tin. So thank you for listening to me talk about the loans boxes today. If you are interested in learning more about loans boxes, or even loaning one of these boxes to experience a museum in your own place, then go to ncm.org.uk where you can find out more. Thank you. Bye.